I thought it was a great night. A lot of offense, big night for this one. Nia McKnight, 5 RBIs, a big hit for us, grand slam there. Was that your first one?
It was.
First one. So really excited for her. Also, big night for KG Favors, who got the complete game, and just really good to see her out there throwing a lot of strikes and getting the job done. Holistically, a lot of offense. I thought we played great defense. It was a great start to the weekend, which we talked about. Just really kind of just continuing to be hungry and hunting this weekend as we close preseason and move into conference play next week.
Right. Mm-hmm. Questions for players?
KG, I know you threw a couple balls there at the end. I heard someone say one more pitch, and literally the next play was the double play. What was going through your head just trying to finish the game there, and how much did your teammates' support in that case help you?
You have a really good defense behind you at all times. You don't really have to worry, and one more pitch is just like one more strike, and get in the game. So it's just a big moment that I want for my team.
And dealing with the elements today specifically, and you threw so well, how are you able to manage that with the rain and still have your best start in a Gamecock uniform so far?
Everything's sunshine and rainbows. Rain shouldn't affect you. You just have to go out there and play and do how you practice. So.
Nia, Coach has bragged about you a lot in the past. She says you're real professional in the way you show up. Just the way you've been able to put in work and then it paying off with stuff like a grand slam today. How much does that mean to you to see that ball get out?
It means a lot, I'm just here to do whatever my role is and just produce for my team in whatever way possible.
What were your emotions just feeling that go over the park? And the triple, too. Like, you were already having such a big day, but what were your emotions when you felt it? Did you think it was going out?
Yeah, off the bat, it was a no-doubter. But I was just trying to see a pitch elevated and just trying to score the run just one at a time. And fortunately, that one went out. But, yeah, just do whatever I can for the team.
For your, you had your first career homer a couple weeks ago, and then this. What did your off season look like to produce this?
A lot of work. Just kind of coming in from freshman year, just betting on myself and just putting forth that work and just coming in a different person.
And then KG, back to you. You made a couple of slick plays in the circle today. You had the one that like Rhodey dropped or whatever, but then you also had the one that like went off your hand or glove or whatever, threw it over to first. Do you pride yourself on your defense in the circle?
It's definitely a good. What's the word?
We practice it a
like
lot.
we practice PMPs almost every single practice. It feels good to be able to defend your position and show up there for yourself. But whenever you have a defense as good as ours, you don't really have to worry about even though Ari might have dropped it, I could have had a better toss. It's never just one person out there; it's the whole field.
Coach, just what went into the decision of leaving KG out there to complete the whole game?
I mean, her pitch count was low. She was getting a lot of outs. I thought their offense was really late. KG provides the most velocity on our staff at times. Her and Jory kind of go neck and neck with that. So I felt like she was being really efficient. It was a big game for her. KG wants the ball. And her development process since she stepped on campus in August, has been a gradual climb. She's been on an upward trajectory since we started this journey together. So she hasn't thrown a lot thus far in our season, but she is someone that we feel like really wants the ball and she wants the trust of her team. And, that means a lot from a pitcher. So, we decided to roll with her tonight and she looked so good. I was like, there's really no reason to take her out. And I felt like we had complete control of the game and there really wasn't a need to make a change.
And I feel like in the 80 game sample size you've been here, I've hardly ever seen you shuffle the top of the order. What led to Tori bumping up? And obviously she proved it today furthermore, but what led to that?
Yeah, the conversations between Katie and I, we've been talking about moving Tori up. We started talking about Tori in the top of the lineup in the fall, to be honest, just with what we anticipated her being and doing for us. We started the year with her a little bit lower because we have so much trust in Q and Carly and Ari, and but adding Tate and Tori in the mix, we really wanted to give them a little time to get their feet underneath them and for us to feel them in different situations and, the trust that is built over so many at-bats. And so now that we've reached that kind of threshold of ABs, the numbers and just the statistics and everything about the order, says Tori could be a great 3-hole. So we kind of also felt like now was our chance to try it out and to see if it worked for us this week with the games that we had on the schedule and, going into Texas, it's not like me, as you alluded to. It's not like me just to try something new against Texas rolling in here next weekend as our first conference series. And so I felt like now was the time. And Tori looks really comfortable. And, I feel like we've given her a chance to really kind of settle in. So far, so good. Yeah.
And just to go off that, I know Alyssa had her first home run on Wednesday. Obviously, she got the start at DP today. Do you plan on using the next couple of days to feel out that DP position? Are you trying to lock it in before conference play? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, we are. That's why we gave Lou the nod again. I think she could be really good for us in that role this year with the personnel that we have. And Lou's a great player. She comes from a really good background of softball from the West Coast and, obviously went to Florida right out of high school. The part that people don't know as much about her is that she was hurt at Florida, and kind of underwent a surgery and an injury. And, even coming here in the fall, she wasn't full go through the fall. So I think she's just now arriving to the player that we know she can be, and still so early in her career. But internally, we have talked about trying to solidify a little bit more of a person for that spot going into conference play. And so she had the big hit against Winthrop on Wednesday night, and I was like, let's roll with her and see if we can give her at-bats, and really get her comfortable in multiple at-bats in a row, multiple games in a row, and see if it works for next weekend.
Obviously, discipline at the plate is always an emphasis, but today it looked especially, on point, especially during that third inning. Some very long at-bats, but the discipline never faltered. Was that any type of focus recently, or were they just on point?
Yeah, discipline is always a focus of ours offensively. I think we have been having some conversations, within the team about there's a fine line of being too passive sometimes at the plate, and we're so good at our swing decisions, and that's never going to waver. We're always going to pride ourselves in swinging at strikes and taking balls and being able to draw walks and just put people on. I mean, that's just who we are. But we've evaluated lately of, there might have been moments where we're too passive and maybe we're letting pitches go that we can take good swings at and really get the barrel on the ball. So I think we're just trying to free them up to make sure that they also are getting the box with the intent to hit, because they are hitters. So we talk about that stuff, week to week in our training, and I was, pleased to see them really attack the ball and also not let the discipline waver. It's kind of like the perfect blend of that, if you will. So I was really proud of them on that. But yeah, we want them to get in the box and hit, and hunt pitches to hit. So, that's going to vary throughout the season, but swing decisions and discipline will always be rooted in who we are.
Going back to the earlier point, now with Ari hitting fourth, obviously she's one of the biggest hitters in the nation. How much of an advantage is that for her now for there essentially to be more runners potentially on base for her to bring home?
Yeah, it's huge for us. We have so much trust in Ari, and she has so much experience at this point. We think she's a true pro. I don't really think personally there's anything she can't do, no matter where we put her. So the move was more about Tori and less about Ari. And we talk to them both. We're so open with them when we make decisions like that, because I want them to understand it and not just have to assume. So we had a lot of conversations with those guys this week about, hey, we're moving Tori up, more of what she can do in that spot. And we feel really comfortable with Ari in the 4. Personally, I would feel really comfortable with Ari anywhere, just because we have so much history together and she's just so good. But it's nice. The top of our order is tough. I would not want to pitch against them personally. So I'm really proud of what they're doing.
And you talked, I think, a couple weeks ago about how your pitching staff is really 7 deep, and KG only had thrown 4 2/3 before today. Is that Also something you're going to try and look at this weekend, I mean, you know what you have in Jory and Neely, and furthermore, but a couple other pitchers a little bit lower down that you're going to see, you can stretch them out this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, Julie Kelly is one that comes to my mind. You know, she's done a really good job for us thus far, and just the way that, you know, our games have shaken out and some of our opponents that we faced, maybe she wasn't the best matchup, so we went with another decision. But Julie's somebody that we want to get more on the field, and, you know, Julie has a great presence and a lot of grit, much like KG. They're very similar in that way. And that's what we want to be putting in the circle. So I think Julie's one that you'll see more this weekend. We've talked about getting her out there as much as we can. And, you know, we're going to rarely throw a CG just with our system and, you know, how we manage the staff. But, you know, if we were going to end it early and they look good, there's no reason to take them out. Sometimes it's good just to let them, you know, feel what it's like to finish a game, even if it's in 5 innings. But Julie's one that comes to mind. You know, Emma's gotten better and better every time she's thrown for us, and we need her. You know, she's got swing and miss. She's got really good stuff, and I think, you know, the first weekend was a little disappointing for her, but now that was almost a month ago. So we've well moved past that, and we've given her the ball a lot. She looked good against St. Mary's in California, and she had some big moments for us. So she gets better and better. She's someone else that we're going to keep giving the ball to, and, you know, putting a lot of confidence and belief in what she has.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Yeah.